In Taiwan Talk this week, Chen Kuan Ting is known in Taiwan's academic circles as the CEO of Taiwan NextGen Foundation. But during the last general elections, Chen picked up a new job, that of legislator representing the 2nd constituency of Chiayi County. He sits down with us to talk about his journey into politics, his priorities, and why his experience at the helm of a think tank supports his development as a legislator.
So I was running a think tank. It's called Taiwan NextGen Foundation. Basically, that think tank was trying to empower the next generation leaders. So running for an election as a member of parliament or as a member of Legislative Yuan will be another way to serve the society, and it's also a very effective way because you are now an elected official that could actually empower or do anything you feel necessary to help the next generation leaders. That including the district I represent from the 2nd district of Chiayi. So it's a very long way from Chiayi to Taipei, but I think it's worth it. As you know, running a campaign would require a lot of efforts and a lot of communication with the local communities. And in order to help the people, not just from my electoral district, but also for the whole country, it requires a lot of time to contact with different communities, including professors, scholars, politicians, concerned citizens. So in order to help my people, I decided to run for elections, and I think it's a more effective and direct way.
Was there a catalyst that made you think, I think I should run for office? Was there something that happened? Was there an incident, a conversation that made you think that elective office was going to be more in line with what it is that you wanted to do?
Taiwan is a democratic country. If you were elected official, your words would be heard on the media platforms, etc. It's all about the voice or the idea you want to spread. And a congressman or senator, legislator, is a very important position for you to spread the idea you want to spread, to execute the things you want to execute, to actually affect more people to the directions you want to direct. Most importantly, you will not represent yourself only. You will represent the people that elected you. So that's why I decided to run. And it's a long journey, but it took like almost a year.
What issues are you hoping to bring to the forefront during your time here at Legislative Yuan?
Several things. So before you arrived, I was talking to some official from the Ministry of Education. There's definitely a lot of things that I want to do for our education, especially for the teachers, like teachers' rights. Like people pay a lot of attention to students, but I think to provide a good teaching environment for teachers, to provide a sustainable environment for teachers or for future teachers to step in this industry is very important. So I was talking to the officials about possibility of legislative efforts to reduce their administrative pressure in the schools, and probably to raise the salaries for the teachers, especially for elementary school to high school. For me, the fundamental, elemental education will be crucial for our next generation leaders. It's not just for college or graduate school or after that. It's from the very beginning. That's very crucial for students or for our next generation leaders. They need to be empowered, they need to be enlightened or they need to be inspired by the teachers. And that's why the teachers' roles are extremely important, and that's why I'm trying to do my very best to help them to reduce some of the workloads, to see if we could provide a better environment for the teachers to step in this industry.
Okay, now you were heading up NextGen for quite a while. How helpful do you think the experience of leading a think tank will be? What are you bringing to Legislative Yuan?
So think tank thing is an idea that usually people don't take it that seriously, because unlike a factory, we actually make things. It's quite hard for people to just think of a think tank. They could make some things, right? But it's the idea that will be incubated. It's ideas that will be inspired, right? So I believe think tank is a place that we could attract talented scholars, talented students, talented young people to join and to research and to actually participate our combined conference or meetings that actually push some agenda. It could be, as I mentioned earlier, education. It could be international affairs. That's what we actually focus on. But it's not the result or the thing that we have achieved, but the progress itself, right? The efforts and the belief that you believe and you decided to spend time, to spend efforts on it and to make it happen. So just like legislative process, right? You will have constituents that actually have petitioned to the legislators, to their local district legislature, and to say this is things that we want to achieve, and the legislators representing the district will then bring to the Legislative Yuan or the Parliament, and then we will have the legislative process to achieve the project or to achieve the goal. So it's a long progress, but the most important things, when I was in the think tank, we knew the progress. We knew how the process, and then we want to make progress. So this experience will be extremely useful in the Legislative Yuan, because sometimes you can't make things happen one night. You need to understand that, and you need to believe in that. Then after that, you might be able to achieve the goal. But for a lot of people that did not have this experience, if they were newly elected, they might think we could change everything in 4 months or 1 year, and then they might feel a little bit frustrated, because that's not how the world works, right? You will face frustrations, you will face challenges. Sometimes you can overcome, sometimes you can't, but then you keep going forward, right?
You mentioned international relations as one of the things that you used to focus on at NextGen. Do you see yourself bringing that interest to the Legislative Yuan? Because you talked about education as a primary focus, but... As a member of Legislative Yuan, and especially if you were elected official, not endorsed by the party, I mean, we all are, most of us are all endorsed by the party, but we do have regional legislators that are elected by different regions. Representing people's voice would be very important. So there won't be one voice, there won't be one directions, right? There will be a lot of things that you need to put on the table. Education, for example, in Chai, agriculture is one of the most important, compose one of the most important part of our growth in the county. So we definitely need to put a lot of efforts and time on this aspect. And environmental issues, right? Energy issues. So all this need to be taken into considerations as a member of a Legislative Yuan. But then you need to allocate your time effectively. So you need to put focus on some issues that you think might be important for this country. So national defense, diplomacy, this will be Taiwan's biggest challenge in the next decade. So, of course, that's something I will spend time on it. I'm not sure about what committee that I'm going to join, because, everyone's want to be in 经济委员会, but that's fine. I would just say my previous interest in diplomacy would still be very important to my journey in Legislative Yuan. You were listening to freshman DPP lawmaker Chen Kuan Ting. Now, if parts of this episode caught your interest, you can catch this and past episodes of Taiwan Talk on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you download your podcasts. I'm Hope Go. Thank you for tuning in.